and welcome to DieCastRestos. I'm Jason and this is the 62C Mercury Cougar. It was in the Matchbox range from 1968, it transitioned to Superfast in late 1969, the model in hot rod guise was introduced in 1970 and this is commonly referred to as the 62D. This featured an engine block protruding from the bonnet, larger rear wheels, doors cast shut and rat rod decals. The pre-Superfast versions such as this one had Matchbox's auto steer system that allowed the car to steer when pushed down on the corresponding side. It featured opening doors and a tow hook for further added play value. This example is complete with no broken parts, but its usually very resilient paint job has thinned to the bare metal on the roof, hood and the trunk. The interior is a bit dirty thanks to those open windows, and the windscreen has yellowed a fair amount. Early versions of the Cougar came in cream colours with an ivory interior, and later a red interior, before the exterior was painted a metallic lime green. Due to its short production run, the regular wheels variant is relatively rare, but as it fell later in the pre-Superfast range, this isn't really reflected in the value. Personally, this is one of my favourite castings. I remember as a kid I had the rat rod version and it instantly became one of my favourite of the American muscle cars, and for that reason alone I hold it in similarly high regard today. The casting is based on the 1967 first generation Mercury Cougar. Owned by the Ford Motor Company, the Cougar slotted into the company's lineup between the Mustang and the Thunderbird. Engines range from 4.7 to 7 litre V8s. My favourite feature of the Cougar was the hidden headlamps fitted into that nicely proportioned grille. The car was the first of Ford's lineup to offer a factory fitted sunroof as an option. For the 1969 model year, the grille was changed from vertical slats to horizontal. A convertible was also introduced. 1971 saw the release of the second generation Cougar, and with the 1973 oil crisis, big block engines were dropped. The 1974 third generation dropped the pony car styling entirely, and the Cougar now found itself a softer, more luxury oriented vehicle. This format continued through to the 7th generation, which saw the Cougar name eventually dropped in 1997. That was very brief though, and the Cougar was reintroduced in 1999, when a streamlining of Ford's lineup occurred, with the Probe and Thunderbird discontinued. The Cougar was now a front-wheel drive sport compact for the first time, and it was made available internationally as the Ford Cougar. I clearly remember the release of the Cougar when Ford produced an ad featuring Dennis Hopper with an Easy Rider theme. It was a brilliant advertisement for the car and it really stuck with me. Ford had also produced an ad around the same time for the Puma, featuring Steve McQueen in a bullet style. It's just fantastic. Here I've painted the casting with an Automotive paint, Rover Applejack from Halfords. It's the same as I'd used in the last Mercury I restored, the 63C Commuter. While the paint is drying, I use some Autosol to polish the exposed metal base, bumpers and grille. It is then buffered out using a buffing attachment for my rotary tool. Back to the 8th gen Cougar, it featured only two engine options, being a 2 litre inline 4 or a 2.5 litre V6 with a 5-speed manual or 4-speed auto box. The Ford Mondeo or Contour, or Mercury Mystique if you will, stopped production in 2000, and as the Cougar was based on this platform, it no longer had a donor platform. As such, its run ended in 2002. Here I'm cleaning up the plastic components that make up the casting. The solid but dirty red interior first gets a wash. Then I scrub the slightly yellowed windscreen to see if it can be restored. The plastic tyres are next in the drink. And finally the chrome hubs are briefly washed. As usual, I put the axles into my drill and sand them gently to remove any imperfections. I've bought some Tamiya Pearl Clear Coat to give the flat paint a more metallic look. It's not immediately noticeable on the video here, but you can sort of see the difference with a comparison to the 63C Commuter later on. The tyres and hubs are now given a coat of Citadel and chrome paint respectively. And the cleaned window unit is dunked in my Astonish wood floor polish to make that glass pop. After fishing it out of the solution, I leave it to dry on a piece of kitchen paper and cover with a plastic shot glass. I then tap the wheels back onto the axles onto the model. So here are the component pieces that make up the Cougar. First off, I slot my dazzling new glass over the protrusion in the roof. This clicks over the post with a firm push. Next, the interior is positioned over the rear rivet post, snugly into place. Then the base can be pushed into place onto that rear rivet. Then secured with a solitary screw. As promised, here is a comparison of the two cars that received the Rover Applejack paint. You can see in the light the shimmer that the Cougar has. It's ever so slight on camera, but in person you can really notice it. You're much more aware of it. By contrast, the Commuter has a flat finish and doesn't glimmer in the light in the same way the Cougar does. So here is a brief reminder of what we started with. A complete yet badly paint-worn 62C Mercury Cougar. It was in need of a respray and a gentle tidying, including the interior and the cloudy windscreen, and the scuffed hubs as well. So this muscle car was looking a bit weedy, but here is what it looks like now. The combination of Halford's Rover Applejack and Tamiya's TS65 Pearl Clear really make this paintwork leap out. It's by no means a match to the original lime green or gold colour, but personally I think the finish is great. The hubs have been re-chromed and that metalwork has been polished using some Autosol and buffed out. The windscreen has come out a treat, nice and clear with no more yellow tint. I'm particularly pleased with that front grille. I picked out the headlamps with a touch of chrome from the paint pen to make them stand out. Anyway, I've really enjoyed restoring one of my favourite Lesney castings, and I hope you've enjoyed the video as well. So please do like, share and subscribe, and I will see you again for the next one. Bye for now.